This is access to the Brandberg expedition base camp. Where I'm standing here, a coach could drive up. It could come here in half a day's drive from Windhoek airport. And Ys would then be hiking overland 7 kilometers to the base camp that we've just come from checking out. So what we're looking at here is a broad perspective on the expedition itinerary, leading from the Brandberg over there in the southeast, through these canyon lands, and then out to the Skeleton Coast. It's communal land, it's state land, it's got no industry, no habitation on it. It's truly a vast wilderness, and already we can see it's a beautiful place to be coming for the departure point of an expedition. From here on, all the way to the desert, all the way to the Atlantic coast, it's just a wilderness for us to head into. The Brandberg Massif is now in view. It's just over there. It's rising up to about 2,700 meters. It's a beautiful objective for an expedition because it's in such contrast. 2,000 meters up above this plain that we're on now. We're looking at one of these dry riverbeds as a base camp, and the one that we're walking into here is the best looking one so far. It's called the Numas. We've come around the north side of the Brandberg, checking out these canyons, and this one in particular we have in mind to set a base camp at the bottom, stock it for the entire expedition, and then also to find a route to the upper valley where we would have a high camp. Continuing into the Ugab dry riverbed. We're now a little over halfway from the Brandberg out towards the Skeleton Coast. We're not actually able to follow the exact expedition route, but we're keeping very close to it, and it's a great rehearsal of how we would get into the expedition terrain in the event of emergency if we had to pull someone out, and even more predictably if we are having to place a water cache in advance. Incredible geology surrounding us, and although this is a dry riverbed, it does actually flow underground. And so what we see here is an instance where the bedrock is pushing the water up near to the surface. Over on the left there you can see our camp for the night. Today we're heading up this gorge a short distance and then turning into the Zebra Canyon, which will take us north. And that'll allow us to cross all of the water drop places for the expedition. And what's interesting to see right now, being 6:30 in the morning, is the way that the mist is blowing up off of the coast, which is only about 30 or 40 kilometers now to the west of us. A sample scene of the geology of the area here. We're in the Zebra Gorge, and the sides of the gorge rise up about 100 to 200 meters, a lot higher at the summit level, and there are entry and exit points in the odd place. You can see one over there. These would be where groups could descend down to one of the water cache points, and a great place to spend the night. And from the way we're looking at this, once a group comes down into the gorge, it would be most likely they would just want to move through it until they come out at the Ugab or rise up to up towards the Brandberg.
You see the settlements up here, all the way through this valley, those rocks, all circular.
Okay.
So that will form the base where they keep the sticks in their dome shape. The implements in this area, and some of the settlement, they're talking about 30,000 odd years ago, 35,000 years. So it's very old, it's Stone Age settlements.
What kinds of things would you find if you looked hard, Johannes?
I've like hand axes, attempts of making spearheads, arrowheads, that sort of thing.
Right.
I mean, this is from far away from here, so he'll be walking across, he sees a bit of, you know, more appropriate rock, and he'll come up here to scan the plains to look for animals, and while he's sitting there, he'll go, dunk, 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 look at it, maybe some of the flakes he can use, some he discards, and he'll just leave. Because you can see, it's been broken on purpose, it's not, this is not accidental breakage. The guy held his first knock, flip that out, so he's got, and that's the point opposing the point of impact, and then afterwards he started breaking it to try and get a shape, and it went very shaped on the other side.
Okay.
So right there. That the herds move up here, it means there must be fresh water. I found hulle is net hier so.
Well, Joe, the Doris has water in it. We've been here a month or so ago, and this river was in flood.
Yeah. No, fun. This is this morning. This is this morning. They're right here. I have this ones. This one's like this size.
Yeah.
There's a smaller one.
Quite
so it's
small babies, very small.
1 cow, 2, 3 cows.
Oh yeah.
Small. They must have come down all the way down the Bantagam. Well, unless it's one of the Ugab herds, because they walk over there where the Dutch guy died. They come over the hill and they come through. But I seriously doubt that. Oh, that's amazing, man. Let's go.
It's like, why is this out of there?
There's almost never water up here, so there's nothing for them. If they don't have available water, they're stuffed. Hey boy. Hey boy. So right there.
It's the 5th day of the Recce, and we're still looking at the different possible locations that we could travel into and the organizations that we might work with. There's various little pockets, very small groups working at protecting endangered or threatened species. We're just traveling today between the Skeleton Coast and Etosha, two really famous protected areas of Namibia. I've just stopped here really to give a sense of what kind of terrain we might be traveling through when we're not in the mountains, when we're not in the desert. There's something in between really. I think of it as savannah. It's like nice little stands of wood like this. Really just trying to get a sense of what would the terrain be like if we are stopping to camp. What's it going to look like? What's it going to feel like? How hot are we going to be? How cold are we going to be at night? Is it buggy? Are there snakes? Are there scorpions? Are there lions? Well, the answer to most of those things is yes. It's not all easy, but it's pleasant. It's workable.